What we have today is the step phase march drill. And the purpose of this drill, just like the hop phase cycle drill, is to drill in hitting the positions of the step phase with very low impact on the body and in a way that you can repeat it day in and day out. You can do this in breakfast, lunch, and dinner if you wanted to. The focus is not about moving with speed, it's about hitting our positions. A quick recap of what I mean by hitting positions is that with each phase, there are certain positions we need to attain in order to properly conserve our momentum going through each phase.
We'll get back to the video in 30 seconds, I promise. But first, I have a small request. YouTube tells me that 93% of the people who watch this channel are not subscribed. And that's a big deal because when people subscribe to the channel, it then gets pushed out to more viewers. And when more viewers see the channel, then I'm able to get more feedback on the content that I should create. So please, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It'll help grow the channel and it'll help give me more feedback on what to create for you. All right, let's get back to it.
Every jumper is going to have their own individual ways of executing positions. So the technical models I'm showing you are just the base versions. Ideally, when you're looking at a step phase, the thigh comes up to parallel. I'm going to show you the double arm version because that's what's natural to me, but single arm will look like this. Thigh comes to parallel. We drive into the step phase. So imagine this. I'm coming off of my hop here. Come off my hop phase. Boom. I've completed my hop cycle, which put that foot underneath my hip. My arms are back, which then drive me into my step phase right here. Boom. Thigh parallel. Arms come, as the thigh comes up to parallel, arms are swinging back at the same time. Boom. Boom. And that is the step phase march drill. It's that easy. But remember, easy is not necessarily to say that you don't need to pay attention. We're focusing on hitting positions, which requires your full attention. So just because we're not moving at speed does not take away the significance of this drill. Ideally, by doing this at a slow speed with very, very minimal intensity over time, what ends up happening is you start developing the ability to hit those positions when you do start adding a speed component to it. Don't ever forget, don't ever sleep on the importance of doing simple drills really well, rather than just trying to going right into jumping on the wrong way immediately. Okay, so I'm gonna walk through the step phase march drill a couple more times, and hopefully this will drive home the position you need to hit in the step phase. I'll do it in both the single arm and double arm version for you. Notice every time I come through, thigh comes to parallel, then the foot comes down underneath my hips. Single arm version. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. There's one thing I will point out before I end this video actually, and it's this. It's a lot of times, especially with novice jumpers, start getting in this habit of clawing. And I know that's a common cue that we learn and we're given when we teach and are learning the triple jump. It's not necessarily a wrong thing, a wrong cue or a bad cue per se, but it's not the best. Cueing someone to claw, in my experience, as both an athlete being taught it and as the coach instructing it, tends to make the athlete leave their foot out in front of them, which then prevents them from completing the position of the step phase or the hop phase, either one. So what I mean by that is this. When I talk about clawing, a lot of people tend to go, huh, huh. Like they tend to leave that foot out like this. And yes, if you watch jumpers like Kenny Harrison or Will Clay, there are videos of them with their hop phase leg or even their step phase almost parallel to the ground like this. The difference is between the novice jumper and those two jumpers I just mentioned, who are some of the greatest jumpers to ever do it, is that there's so much elastic strength that they are producing when they come here that even though their leg gets out here, it is being brought back by the time they contact the ground. That elastic strength of being out here and snapping back is what pushes them forward. So when I say complete the hop cycle, or I'm saying in this case, complete the step cycle, I'm talking about getting your foot up here, and no matter how far out it gets here, it must come back underneath you. It doesn't matter if you put your foot all the way to your knee, all the way to your chin. If it lands out here, you're screwing yourself over. So you wanna make sure that as you do, whether it's the hop or the step, notice the positions between the hop and step, very similar. You complete that cycle, boom. That's why I use the cue of completing the cycle versus clawing, because again, clawing is giving us the idea that we wanna just slap that foot out here. Anytime your foot's outside of your center of gravity, which essentially is in front of your hips, you're scrubbing off speed. To scrub off speed in the triple jump is to scrub off distance. So just keep that in mind, complete the cycle. Don't worry about clawing as such, okay? That's it for this video. Catch you on the next one.